Hi guys, this is Katja with Creators Image Studio. Long time no see, but I'm here and I am showing you a new project today. It is a large mini album and it is in a steampunk fashion, a steampunk theme. It is quite heavy, quite thick, and I used a lot of papers. And I will show you, of course, the papers that I used. And if you're wondering, the reason I am not filming as many videos as I used to do is because I am not creating as many projects as I used to do. So I am creating projects, hence the large mini album, but where usually it took me about a month to create such an album, I took my time because, you know, life is busy and some things change. And it took me a lot longer actually to finish, but I still did. So let's get into it. And let me start off by showing you the paper. So I'm gonna move over here. These are the 4 paper collections I used. Actually, I used 5 because the top left one, the Time is an Illusion collection, I had 2 12 by 12 inch collection packs, and then I had 2 more 12 by 12 inch collections, as you can see, the Lady Vagabond and the Clockwise. And finally, I had an 8 by 8 inch pad called Sir Vagabond. All of these are by Stamperia, and all of them, in my opinion, are a bit of a vintage steampunk theme, so I thought they might fit well together. Also, I thought, let me make a large project again, because I get to use my papers. I have a huge stash. If you want, you can look at it in my video here. I showed you my craft room, or actually my stash room, where you can see all of the papers that I have. And they are a lot, let me tell you. So I thought, let's use some of them and fling all of them into one album. So in this one album, to make it, including, you know, the pages and also all of the tags and the booklets and all of the stuff that you can that you will see in a couple of minutes. It will, if you want to make this exact same one, it will take you 4 12 by 12 inch packs plus an 8 by 8 inch. Just saying. So it is ideal to craft up your stash. I also, as you already saw in the picture, had the chipboard pieces and something I didn't photograph, but I also had this die cut pack. Now, this is the first time that I use these by Stamperia. And when I bought it, I thought die cuts, you know, they are paper die cuts, but they're actually a very thin chipboard. So these are thinner than the actual chipboard pieces that you see in the picture. And also I used 2 here. This is one of the die cuts, and this one here is one of the chipboard pieces. The chipboard pieces are sticker pieces and the die cut pieces are not. So just so you know. And if you already like this video, just press the like right now and subscribe to my channel. So let's dive into the album. Alright, here we go. As usual, I kept my album cover relatively simple. I added 2 pieces of chipboard, like I already told you, but that's it. The spine is completely flexible because this is a book linen, bookbinder's linen, and I didn't do an extra spine piece, so it is completely flexible. You will see that in a moment when we open up the album. This will be completely flexible, which of course is great for such a heavy album. And then here is the back, also pretty simple, lovely paper. Let's open it up. And we start off with sort of an envelope pocket here. There's a chipboard piece by way of a magnetic closure, and I try to have the pattern of the paper continue here. So let's open it up. This is a deeper pocket with a sort of a double hinge here with an extra gusset. So you can actually put a little booklet inside, which I did. Now this is only one idea, and I will show you some more in a moment, but this is what I did. I created a simple pocket booklet with an 1/8" spine, decorated on the front, embossed it here with an embossing folder and added some metallic wax to emphasize the embossing pattern here. Opening it up, it has a small pocket here with some tags, and I made sure that this here cannot move to the bottom. If you want to know how, check out the tutorial. And then here is a doily that I die cut myself. So room for a picture here. You can add some pictures, of course, here. Very simple. So this is what I did for this pocket. But you can also do, of course, other things. For instance, I created a booklet making use of the book patterns of this lovely paper. This is the Lady Vagabond paper. Now, the one I'm showing you in the picture, I'm not keeping in this album, but I have actually sent it out as a card. So let me show you the footage that I shot before I mailed it to my friend. So what I basically did is get some scraps of my album and measured the card around it, as it were. So that is why it fits perfectly, because I fit it to size. Now this is a tag that I cut out from a cut apart sheet, and I also did some stamping here. It says enjoy tea time, as you can see, and here it says all journeys have secret destinations of which the traveler is unaware, which is a great sentiment, I think. Now let's open it up, and a lovely vintage inside of the card here. And I did a little folder pocket, as I like to call it. And this is a pocket with a crease here, so a pleated side, and it makes for a larger opening, which I need because I will put a tea bag inside, and I always fill my tea bags with some fresh tea, so it ends up quite bulky. So I needed a somewhat deeper pocket here, and then I decorate it with 2 cut aparts. So I cut a tag and put it down, and then I cut this label here with a sentiment, and then I put a lot of glossy accents on top of it. And here again is a tag, so let's find some beautiful place to get lost, which is also a lovely travel sentiment. And I decorated the inside here as well, the inside of the spine. And yeah, you already saw the back. So this is the card that I created. I will send it out to my friend, but you could also use it inside of your mini album, provided you create something of a box pocket to put this entire thing into. So your pocket has to be, of course, at least the width of the spine, and preferably somewhat wider, like an 1/8 of an inch. No, that's a bit much, but let's say a 1/3 of an 1/8 of an inch. Like a 24th, should be wider than that, and then you can fit this into your album pocket as well. Or you could choose to not do a deep pocket here, and keep this spine very small, like 1/8 of an inch, and then it will easily fit into your mini album pockets. Okay, so that was the second idea, and the third idea is this one. This I will also send out by way of a card, but you can also use this as an extra photo booklet. This is actually, though it doesn't have a spine like this one, but it is quite bulky, I think, because the paper is quite heavy by itself. So I took a piece of paper and made it into a trifold, added a journaling spot here in the middle, or you can also add a picture. Of course, you could add pictures here as well, but I made use of the double-sidedness of the paper because I could have used some cardstock and then matte, but I decided to enjoy both sides of this beautiful paper. So by way of a closure, I added this tag here, and the only thing I have to do is tuck this behind, and now it's closed. And the back is decorated as well, mostly because this is a card, but you can also use this as a place to put a picture if you want to put this into your album pocket here. So this is a nice alternative as well. You can of course decorate like I have done here, So yeah, so there is 3 ideas and the T card being the third. Of course, you would have to use a narrower spine for that one than that I used because of the T. And here I'm inserting a 4th idea. It's another day, so the lighting is slightly different. My apologies, but I came up with another card that I will send out, but you could in fact use this as either an insert here or of course here. So yeah, let me show you this. There is a swing tab here. I did some stamping with a stamp from the collection. Here is a chipboard piece and some cut aparts, so some fussy cutting here. And this is a chipboard text piece, also by Stamperia, but not of this collection. A chipboard piece here to make the swing tab, and let's open it up. And there's a chipboard piece here as well, by the way. So let's open this up. So this is a flap, and there is no cardstock in this card, by the way. So it's all the double-sidedness of the paper, and this is a 1-sheet card. So I did some folding and cutting, and this is a cut apart from the collection. I used some glossy accents here just on the detail and used a cut apart also from the collection to create a bookmark. So I did some stamping here and here. It says knuffel, that is hug in Dutch, and this is a cut apart that I folded around, so on both sides. So my friend can take this and use it as an actual bookmark. Cut apart from the collection, another cut apart from the collection. So I did a lot of layering and cutting apart, etc. Did some stamping here also from the collection. So this is just a decorative element. It says, let your dreams be your wings. And let's close this. Now, if we turn over the card, there is a pocket here on the back, so I folded this a couple of times and then did an insert here. Used some washi tape here as a spine for this booklet. And did some stamping here. Just to let you know that I'm thinking of you is what it says in Dutch. And then here it says spring greetings, also in Dutch. Did some stickling here. Fussy cutting, stamping, and some glossy accents. So a lot of decorating here. So just to let you know, it's quite easy. You know, these are simply 2 cut aparts that I used some washi tape to connect to each other, and there you have a booklet. So that is a very, very simple idea, but look at the great effect. So that is the insert here. Now there's a hidden pocket here on top. And the insert that I created for it is here. So this is also a double-sided piece of paper, stamped with a stamp from the collection, a tea sentiment, a cup of tea warms the soul like a good friend. And then here I did some colorized die cutting by Sizzix. So this is the cup of tea by Tim Holtz, and I will insert the original here so you know what I mean. So I used design paper to layer this cup of tea, as you can see, and that has a great effect as well. And on the inserted picture, you can see the example if you use solid paper instead of pattern paper. Now on the back, I used some repositional tape to add a bag of tea. So let's insert that. And there you have it. So you can pull it out just by using these ribbons. So this one would also fit in this pocket here, and I guess you could tuck it here as well, though it is a little bit bulky, but well, you could create a spine here. So yeah, so let's get back to the original footage. Here is sort of a folder that I created, file folder idea here. So I literally placed some tags here. You could also place some photo mats here, or even some loose pictures if you're not into the gluing down of pictures but want to keep them somewhere. So this is a nice way to do it. So this is simply part of the paper collection. So there's a nice journaling spot here. You could leave this as is or put a photo over it. And these are cut aparts from the collection as well. And I used some washi tape here on both sides to turn them into a booklet. So again, here I saved on the bulkiness because I made use of the double-sidedness of this paper. So this saves you some bulk. And of course you could glue some pictures here on this relatively broad flap. I did some stamping here. There's a stamp set from the collection. They have several stamp sets, so you will perhaps notice that this figure here is the same gentleman as the one here, so you will see some stamps all throughout the album. So I thought it nice just to use some plain black ink and then put it over one of the design papers here. There's a photo flap and then room for pictures, both here and here. This is an actual photo album, guys, so not every page has pockets and tags. This one, however, does, so here is a small pocket. I put some tags here. These are cut aparts from the collection, beautiful as they are, or as journaling spots or photo mats. And then here the glasses of the cat. I actually put some craze accents here. That is what it's called. It's by Tim Holtz, and it will give you some cracked glass effect. So let me try and insert some close-up footage here. So here you can actually see on the glasses sort of the cracked effect. Let me try and play with some light. It's sort of a glossy accents, but then with the crazing effect. Okay, now this is a sort of a Z page, Z folded page, because I can actually fold it open all the way. So let's first do it like this. Room for pictures. And here as well, so you see a tag here. This is not actually a pocket, but a flap. Mainly because I wanted to continue with the pattern of the paper, because this is a text pattern. So it says time is an illusion, and then here is the E. So here again, how long is forever? Sometimes just 1 second. So that is actually more of a visual trick that I wanted to use, because otherwise the sentence would just end. And then here is one of these cut aparts again that you can use. Let's open it up to the other side. And that is just simply room for more pictures. Or you could leave this collage pattern as is, because it is beautiful. Imagine if you have some black and white pictures or sepia pictures from your family album or some such, and then having this pattern next to it. That would be lovely. This is actually a swivel tab closure, but it's magnetized as well. So there you go. Room for pictures here if you want. And then look at this lovely pattern. I can't get over how pretty this paper is. Here is that gentleman again. So this I fussy cut this from a cut apart sheet and added it for decoration, but I left some room here for you to, if you want to glue a picture, then there's some room here to tuck the corners behind it. And then here is room for more pictures. And there is the magnetized closure. This is a pattern pocket, so that is what I call the pockets that I create by simply cutting into a paper's pattern. So this is the pattern and I cut into part of it. So let's tuck this behind it again. You can do this with a picture, of course. Large flap. These kinds of flaps are great to use your 8 by 8 inch papers like I have. So I had a 8 by 8 inch paper pad as well. So I used those papers for these kinds of surface areas. I did add some fussy cut collage here, and then you can open it up. Let's first do the inside of the flap because it's lovely. So there's the lady from the Lady Vagabond. I did some stamping first. This is also from the stamp set. And then I fussy cut Lady Vagabond and put her right on top of it. On this page there are 3 pockets. So I just put some tags inside for some decoration. But you can of course use this space for your pictures. Lots of cut aparts here in this paper collection. I decorated it here, but here you can see the 3 pockets. You could even glue a photo here if you have many pictures, but this is just to decorate and give you an idea. On this page here on the flap, I used the crazing here on the clocks again. Don't know if you can see that, but here on the close-ups, I think you can see it. It's right here, for instance. And I put it all over this clock and also the one here. There's a belly band here, which I decorated. And then you can open up this flap. There is a sentiment here. This is sort of a corner pocket, so you could tuck a picture or something behind it. And then I again tucked 2 photo mats. This is one of the book patterns that I also showed you with the T card. So this is double-sided as well. And I think the paper comes with 6 on one 12 by 12 inch sheet. So you have 6 of these and all 6 are unique. And this one I simply cut myself from part of the patterns paper. And here I matted it with a different piece of paper and then fussy cut this as sort of a, well, a tuck spot, or suppose you have a picture that you want to put here, but you need some extra space. You could do it like this and then glue this down. So that is also an idea for you. Chipboard piece here, a small booklet here with a nice little swivel tab closure, room for pictures or journaling, magnetized flap here, room for a picture here, and then there's 3 photo flaps here. So I left these unmatted because these are really meant for pictures. So there's no design paper needed in my opinion. And here is some more room for pictures. And you could of course glue pictures on top of these design papers as well, but you can also leave this as is and enjoy the paper. Again, a photo flap. And here you see another piece of stamping. So here is Lady Vagabond again. Simple black ink and a nice little journaling spot. Here you could do some pictures as well. And then here is a nice photo mat as well. Again, no cardstock, but simply the double-sidedness of the paper that you can utilize to mat with your pictures. And I did some fussy cutting again here. So these figures and this cog here all are fussy cut. And then I added some glossy accents here to the glasses of Sir Vagabond. See? Just a little detail, just to be a little bit playful, and then you can add a picture here and of course here. Also an enlargement if you want, or 2 smaller ones. 2 pockets here. I did some embossing just to be playful, and I decorated with a fussy cut door here. And just for decorative purposes, I added some photo mats here, cut aparts from the collection, and here some smaller tags that I cut. But you could also use this pocket, of course, these 2 for pictures, but this is just, you know, to decorate and to add some journaling spots or extra photo mats. Journaling spot, magnetized flap to keep these flaps closed. And you can use this for pictures as well. And you could do a large picture like this, as long as you cut the picture right here. So you would have 2 halves of the picture. That would work just fine. And here is again sort of a bottom flap to make sure that this text and this pattern here continue and remain readable. I don't know, maybe it's not necessary, but I just thought it's strange if it just ended abruptly. Now, This is an actual removable photo booklet. So it looks like a flap, and the flap actually holds this flap closed. See? And this is a pocket, so it's not a flap. And then you can take this one out. So here's an example where I cut into a pattern. You can do the same with a picture and have it continue on both halves. And here I did some mixed media artwork. So I used some texture paste and I added some embossing glaze in several different colors to trying to match the paper's colors a bit. Just, you know, to add some decorative elements. And this embossing glaze by Tim Holtz is shiny. See? So you tuck it behind this belly band into the pocket here. Again, by the way, here cutting into the pattern and having it continue on both halves. So you can do that with a picture as well. Closing the flap, closing this flap. Here I did some fussy cutting as well. So this is a fussy cut element, actually the same suitcases as you saw on the stamp a couple of pages ago. Here we are in the absolute middle of the album. So this has a little bit more room here in the gusset. By the way, let's show you the flexibility of the spine here. So as you can see, there will be no cracking of spines because this is completely flexible, like I told you, and the book binder's linen makes it very, very sturdy. You can also see that the gussets are not all the same. So some are 1/4 inch, some are 1/8 of an inch. So there's some variation here, and that is on purpose because I thought, well, maybe on some pages you want to add more decorations or more pictures. So I gave you the option in my tutorial to play around with the order in which you use the 1/8 of an inch versus the 1/4 of an inch. So you can follow along with my order, or you can add your own order in which you mix them up. This one, I do recommend to keep 1/4 of an inch, if at least you use the same decorative elements as I have here, because this is rather bulky with the double flaps, and then this as a 3rd flap, and then here with the photo waterfall. So you actually need this room here, especially if you're going to fill it up with pictures, I mean. And here I left everything unmatted as well, because these are meant as a photo waterfall, and you can add, of course, here a picture as well. So there's lots of room for pictures here in this album. And this magnetized flap keeps everything neat and tidy. This flap is not magnetized at all, so there's some added weight here because there's a pocket here and a tag inside, and that is what keeps the flap closed. So it's the weight of the paper. This is a cut apart from the collection. And the clockwise collection that I used, amongst others, comes with a lot of sentiment. So you see sentiment here, here, and even here on the inside. This is a beautiful one. There's only one thing more precious than our time, and that's who we spend it on. Brilliant. So there's a corner pocket here. I created it by simply layering some cut aparts. So there's room to tuck your pictures behind it. Again, more room for pictures. Some playful element here just to decorate, 2 chipboard pieces glued on top of each other. This is a tag booklet again, so you can open it up. And it actually keeps this flap closed. So you can open this photo flap and then this one. And there's a sentiment as well, moments in time. So closing this and then this. Here I created a pattern pocket again. This time I didn't do much of a detailed cut, but more of a general wave, a wavy thing here, following along with these clocks here. Added some glossy accents here, and then I used a large cut apart from the paper collection. Look, this comes in as part of a 12 by 12 inch sheet. It's double-sided like this. It's great. Stamperia does great things in this way, I feel. So the only thing I had to do is, you know, just fold it in half and you have an actual book. And here I used the embossing glazes again, this time to color. So there's no texture paste. The pattern was already on the book, but it was brown. And I added some extra coloring here. And of course the shine. Again, for decorative purposes, I added a photo mat or a journaling spot, but you can tuck your own pictures here behind this belly band, which I decorated with a fussy cut lady vagabond. A photo page with some doorlets purely for decorative purposes. I use one of the chipboard pieces here to be the closure. So I put a brad through the tail here, and then you can swivel it open and open the doorlets. Of course, you could add some pictures here. I did some embossing again here, again with the metallic wax, because I thought it fit the paper brilliantly. Closing the magnetized closure again. And then on this side, I did some embossing here as well, but let me open the belly band first. So this is a belly band in 2 halves, so you have to open it up. So you could use these flaps as a photo mat, of course. And then here is a nice photo pattern again. So you could glue your pictures like here, and then, or also add an enlargement. This is the embossing, a bit of a tiger print, and again with some metallic wax on top. Now what you see here is part of a paper clip that I'm using on the other side. And if I remove it, now I can fold this flap open and have lots of room here. So I can open it up in its entirety here. So that is how that works. Now I played around again with just using the design paper. So this is completely double-sided. There is no cardstock used on this flap. So if you want to imitate this, you would have to use some double-sided paper, otherwise it doesn't work. And then here is a pocket, so you can tuck some extra pictures here and glue them down here or tuck them inside here. I used some cut aparts here, and then as you can see, this does not remain closed by itself, and that is why I'm using a paper clip. And I thought, well, let's be symmetrical and use another paperclip here. So I added an element that makes use of it. So here is a trifold. Now, this pattern I added myself, and you can go to my Instagram page to see the materials that I used for that. But there's some stenciling done here. And you can see the same stenciling here and here. So again here, no cardstock. Just making use of the double-sidedness of the paper. And then the last page. This is a swivel tab closure, and then there is a double-sided photo mat. I cut it in an arch because of this pattern here, but you can also keep it, of course, straight if you want to. So there you go. And then the inside back cover. I did a playful little flap here, which doesn't serve any purpose really at all, except again to keep the pattern continuing on, because, ta-da, this is the last suitcase. I could, of course, have left it like this, but I thought it playful. And that also gave me the opportunity to fussy cut all of these books and added them as a decorative element. This is actually a magnetized flap, so let's open it up. Now I did some stamping here. This is again from the collection. It's very simple. I thought you could put a picture like here and then have this crowning it, as it were. And then here, very last page, the actual inside back cover. I just added a tuck spot here and tucked a lot of cut aparts behind it from the collections that I used, and did some fussy cut elements here to create a bit of a layout. And that's it. Now the tutorial for this album will be in my Etsy shop, and it will be tutorial number 54. There are some resemblances between this album and my previous Sunny Times extra large album. I will insert that one here. But that album was extremely large. It was more than 12 inches high. This one, of course, is not. So the techniques differ somewhat, but the overall page design and layout is comparable between both albums. So if you already own that tutorial, and that is number 32, and if you are good at scaling down or scaling up your own measurements, then maybe you won't need this one. However, there are some new techniques in this album. Not every page is the same in every detail. The inside covers are different, for instance, and some of the pages differ. And of course, all of the measurements differ. And I used some different techniques here and there also, because, you know, it has been some years. I have developed some new techniques and I'm sharing those in this tutorial, in the number 54. So it's up to you. If you already own the 32, it's up to you if you want to try the 54 as well. If you don't own the 32, then I would recommend the 54, because the 32 will not be in my shop for much longer. I think maybe until this summer, and then after the summer it will be gone for good. So be aware of that. So if you want to pick that up as well, you have until this summer, and then it will be gone, and then you will have only the 54 to enjoy. All right, and there you have it. That was my steampunk mini album, the very large one. And I actually did a little eyeshadow palette to go along with it. You know, one has to stay creative, right? I really loved to work with this paper. The Stamperia papers are not too thick, they are not too thin, they are perfect to use in your scrapbooking or card making projects. If you want to make this album the way I did, then there is a tutorial available for you in my Etsy shop. I will post a pinned comment below, and I will probably also put it in the description box, the link to the tutorial. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you liked this design. I hope you enjoyed watching a video of mine again. And I plan to make more, but like I said, I am not as productive as I used to be, so there will not be weekly videos. And also, I don't know if I'm gonna be filming the cards that I'm creating, because I think you guys don't particularly like to watch videos of cards. So I think I will move them over to my Instagram account. So follow me on Instagram. I am at Katja's Craft on Instagram. And there you will be able to see the smaller projects that I am still creating. So the cards, the mixed medias, the tags, you know, the detailed work, all kinds of nice stuff. And I think I will leave the larger videos for this channel, and that will include tutorials. So I will be making video tutorials, I think, and they might be about cards, but I don't think I will be showing a card like, you know, here's a card and this is what it looks like. So I think I will be focusing on the albums on my video channel. And speaking of which, my next project I think will be fairly easy one, because I bought a pre-made album, and here it is. It's by Prima Marketing. I'm just going to try it out. I really have no idea whether I'm going to like it or not. It looks like this, so it has some chipboard pages already tied to the spine here. Who knows? I might like it. I may hate it. I really don't know. This is a gatefold design, and I also bought a tiny one. This is called a tiny journal, and this is not gatefold but a simple album like this, also with the chipboard pages already in it. Who knows? Like I said, I may love it, I may hate it, but I will let you know. And who knows, I may even do a tutorial or a scrap along with me, like sort of a just, you know, chatting and crafting. If you like that, let me know in the comments. But if you don't leave a comment, that is fine too, of course. But this is just to know, for you to know that this is what I have planned as my next projects, trying new stuff. Also, I hope the reason I bought these, I'm able to save some time because I won't have to create the cover and the spine and the binding system and, you know, all that stuff, and just get to play with my beautiful papers by decorating these, and hopefully finish them sooner than, you know, me having to create an entire album from scratch. Lovely as that is and fun as that is, it also takes a lot of time, and I'm not always in the mood to spend that much time, whereas I am often in the mood to play with beautiful papers and lovely colors and all that nice stuff. So now you're up to speed with me and my channel. Let me know what you think about the album and all other things that you saw and heard, and I will hopefully see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.